I think the business opportunities for architects in the MENA region are extraordinarily wide and diverse. I think architects particularly have an opportunity to contribute on many levels, as well as the design of buildings, right the way through master planning, urban design, architecture, the shells of buildings themselves, and of course interior design and fit out. I think there's an extraordinarily diverse range of clients and requirements, and certainly our businesses, AECOM is very interested in pursuing these and making the most of the opportunities that the region has to offer. The Middle East region is critical to the overall business strategy for AECOM. It forms part of our EMEA and I region, which is Europe, the Middle East, Africa and India, and it's one of the main component parts of that region. We have an enormous participation in civil infrastructure projects and increasingly now in built environment projects. We have a very wide range of projects throughout the UAE in both Abu Dhabi and Dubai. They range from civil infrastructure projects right the way through to architecture, landscape, public realm, fit-out projects. We definitely face the challenges of assembling the right skills to the right projects. That's definitely improving, but it remains quite difficult to find the right resources to service the projects that are available. I think that clients in the region are becoming more and more sophisticated. I think they're becoming more thoughtful about their briefs and particularly about their design programs. I think there's a greater understanding now of what it takes to produce an excellent project. I think that the increased understanding of sustainability, not only in terms of cost in use, but really the future of the building product that you're creating, I think that is becoming more and more widely understood. And so I suppose the trend I see is an increased quality, longevity to buildings, and I'm very impressed with the massive improvement in the public spaces and the public realm around the UAE in particular. I think it would help the industry a lot, because I go back to the skills and resource shortages. I think if we could tap the potential of bringing more women into the industry, finding ways to bring them in, I think it would really assist. We can't afford to have pools of people non-utilised when there's such a need for good architects in the region. So I think there's a variety of measures, but I think it starts with companies being positive about looking to recruit women and allowing them into positions of authority and seniority. My father is an architect, so I grew up in his studio, so I knew that architecture existed and I knew what it was, which I think even now I don't think there's a wide understanding of what architects do as a profession, and in those days it was certainly less so. Buildings have always interested me, the built environment's always interested me, and I think that once you decide that's your interest, it's very difficult not to follow that path, really. I've been hugely impressed actually by this event. I've rarely experienced the level of engagement on panel discussions as we've had this morning, and I think that just demonstrates that there is a hunger in this area for architects to get together and debate the issues which are of interest to our profession and then ultimately of interest to our clients. So I think it's I didn't know what to expect, but I think that this forum could play a hugely important role in the development of the profession in the UAE. I've certainly enjoyed it so far. I've only been here this morning, I'm afraid, but I'm very taken with the level of engagement. I think the moderators have been really thoughtful. I was very impressed by how they sent me the agendas of their questions and their subject matter beforehand, and I thought they've managed it very well. I think that's a very good question. This is really about the development of the profession, and I think certainly at AECOM, our practice leads, whether it's architecture or engineering, take their role in the development of the professions very seriously. I know that, for example, the RIBA has opened a chapter here, and I imagine that chapters of architectural institutions from other countries have probably opened here too. I think it's really important that the larger practices, that the leaders of those engage with those chapters and engage with the younger architects in the regions and try and disseminate some of the experience that we have, particularly to the startup practices, because the startup practices are going to be the kind of the star local practices of the future. And today's business environment is very tough, and without some kind of professional support and mentoring, it's going to be difficult for them to move on and survive and become the practices that they need to be. If you invite me.